Very good morning to every one of you. Can you hear me? Somebody confirm if I can be heard?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Awesome. All right. So, guys, very good morning to each one of you. And I hope you had your breakfast and you have the energy to take part in this meeting and put your mind in learning, right? All right. So, before I start, I have a couple of things to, talk about this particular session. Usually my sessions are like this. The more I'll be sharing my screen to have a guidance for me to talk, not for you. So please listen to what I speak more than what you see on the screen, right? Because I speak out of my experience, out of my learnings that I have for last 10 years in the industry. So the screen that I share is more towards my reference. So don't go by that and take notes about it, but listen carefully what I'm speaking. So that is most important, right? Number one. Number two, I like to communicate with each one of you. So you can use the chat box if you want to ask any question, if you want to say something about any learning that you want to have, please put it on the chat box. So let's get started. All right. So before I start, I just want a couple of confirmations from your side. You can use the chat box again for the same. You can tell me how you want. You want a mix of Tamil and English, or you want a complete English session? However you prefer, I'm okay with that, right? And I know the topic is about cracking interviews. So how do we crack interviews? So the cracking interview is the last part of your job search. Okay, when you're searching for a job, the last part of the process is cracking interview and then offer negotiation. But before cracking interview, there are many other important steps, which is crucial. First thing, you should get an interview. First thing, you should be ready for a job. Second, you should get an interview for that. And third, you should be cracking the interview. So I'm going to cover from the beginning to the end and help you understand how the entire process, how you can prepare yourself to make yourself employable, hireable for the industry. All right. So are we good with that? If you have, each one of you are ready, please type ready in the chat box. Awesome. That's great. So let me share my screen for you. I hope you can see my screen as well. All right, so today's topic, we're going to talk about how to crack interviews. Before that, as I said, there are a few crucial steps which I will also cover for you. Okay, so before that, quickly about my YouTube channel. The reason I'm sharing this is we have 1 hour time today. The maximum I can share today, I'll share across with you. But if you want to follow me and understand more about the interviews, job search, etc., you can always follow my YouTube channel, which is called Leslie's Voice, where I every week share content related to job search, right? All right, thank you. So let's go on to the next. So the agenda that I have for you is like first identifying your career, right? You are all graduates, and 10 years back, I was just like you, sitting in college and looking at what I have to choose. I'm confused. I cannot communicate in English so well, right? I cannot even speak 2 sentences in a flow. And I was searching for jobs. I got my first job after failing in 76 interviews, right? I'm saying 76 literal interviews. So I got my first job after 76 interviews. So with that only, I started this Leslie's Voice YouTube channel to help job seekers so that they don't struggle like me, right? So I was just like you, who cannot, maybe you might be a better speaker, you might be better than me than what I was 10 years back. But I was a person who cannot speak well, who cannot face the crowd, who does not have much knowledge. All that was me, right? Today, I'm able to navigate through my career and get into a good position in a corporate, working as a talent acquisition manager for Motorola across India. So I lead the recruitment activities for Motorola across India, right? So today's agenda that I have is for first, you should identify your career, what suits for you, right? And I'll help you understand how to identify that. That's the most important thing, because lot of job seekers come to me and say, Leslie sir, I want some job. Please help me with the job. But when I ask them what job you want, they are not sure what job they really want. And they'll say any job is fine, any job, right? But that's not the right answer. So I'll help you understand how to identify your career. Number one. Number two, employability skill kit for freshers, particularly, right? What are the things that you need to put into yourself so that you can be an employable person, so that you can consider as an employable person. So that we'll talk about, and what you can do about that, how you can build that employability skills in yourself. That's what we're going to talk. And finally, I'm going to talk about how to connect with the corporates so that you are able to connect with them and get the opportunities. And I also have another last topic which I'll talk about specifically about interviews. So it's a little long agenda, to be frank. So I'll go a little faster. And if you have any questions, please put on the chat box so that we'll address towards the end. All right. So the first, identifying your career. Okay. A lot of times, as I said, freshers come to me, say, sir, I need a job. When I ask them what job you want, what is the job that you want? They're not clear. They do not know what jobs they are, good for, or what jobs are available in the market. Both the things, they are not clear. Unfortunately, that's a very sad state. You should know what jobs are available in the industry and what job would be ideally fitting for you, right? There are a lot of opportunities in the market. And if you go to anybody and ask, can you help me with a job? The next question everybody is going to ask is, what job you want? What is that you want, right? Because there are so many opportunities in the industry, but unfortunately, we say that there is no opportunities, there is not opportunity, because we are not clear on what job that we want. So your first step for yourself today, if you are not clear about it, I would request you to think through it, think through yourself, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and identify the career for yourself, right? So to identify that, you need to go through a process. It's not just you close your eyes and open your eyes, then you find, okay, this is the job I want. No, it cannot happen that easily, right? You have to experiment a lot of things. You need to get exposed to a lot of things. You need to understand what is there in the market. All these things you need to understand. Then only you know, okay, this job looks like a ideal job for me, and I can continue my career. So one thing, why I'm saying this is important is, your career is not a 1 year or a 2 year or a 3 year affair, right? You start your job at your 25 years old, around somewhere that, and you end it by 60 years old. Okay. So almost 70% of your life is in your career. 70% of your lifetime you're going to spend in your career. And if you spend that in a career which is not interested for you, which is not suitable for you, then every day you struggle, every day you blame, every day you worry to get into the job and do the job. Okay. So it is not about earning money. It's not about getting a job, any job. No, it's not that, right? Your career is a long-term process. It is like, 25 years, from 25 years to 60 years. So you should be ready, and you should be really, really comfortable in doing something that you want to do. Not just like, I'm getting money, so I'll do, whatever like that. Maybe for first 5 years, it will be good. But after that, you get really, really bored about it. You will not feel comfortable doing it, right? So that's where it is important that you merge your passion and your career. Okay, maybe not 100% mergement you can do, but to some extent you can obviously merge your passion and career if you are aware about yourself. Okay, so the first step to identify the right career is awareness. Awareness about your strengths, awareness about your weakness, right? How do you understand your strengths? Think about yourself. Ask your friends, ask your professors, ask your colleagues, right? Ask your siblings, ask your parents. Ask them, what do you think about me? What I do best, right? Am I good in time management? Is a question you can ask. Am I good in problem solving? Is a question you can ask. You ask people about yourself. You might have a certain perception, but again, you can ask the people surrounding you and how you are, where you are very good, right? And note down those things. Now, when you know about your strengths, when you know about your weakness, you have an idea. Okay, these are the things I can do best. These are the things I lag a bit. Maybe I need to improve, or maybe I cannot do. Maybe I'm not interested to do all job, right? So all this awareness first step is to understand yourself, understand your skills. You take part in different, put yourself into different scenarios. Put yourself into out of your comfort zone, right? Go out of your comfort zone, put into different places, and try and test it. This is an ideal time that you can do a lot of testing in your life, right? After 5 years, after 10 years, you cannot do testing. You cannot, come and say, I'll start something really from a scratch, because your family needs your support, people around you needs your support. You cannot really do that. So the ideal time to put yourself into a testing period is right now. So put yourself, expose yourself in a lot of things so that you understand where is your strength, where is your weakness, where is your interest lies in. Okay, that's the first step. Second step is, once you understand that, then identify relevant areas, right? For these skill sets, for these expertise, for these interests, what are the relevant areas in the industry, right? What are the relevant jobs in the industry? What are the if you are somebody, for an example, if you are somebody who is good in analytical problem solving related skill set, let's say, then maybe your jobs some relevant to analytical problem solving can be a data analyst, data scientist kind of roles, right? So you need to identify that. These are my skill set and what are the relevant areas for that. Third is fixing your career. Now you understand about yourself. You understand what are the relevant areas in the industry for those skill set or those interests, and then you fix a career. You say, I want to become a software developer. That is not even fixed. I'm telling you, that is not a software developer is still a broader term. You can say, I want to become a Java developer, right? That is fixing. That is fixing. Or I want to become a machine learning expert. That is fixing. Or I want to become a SCAD engineer, right? Or I want to become a design engineer, right? That is your skill fixing your career. Okay, so you need to be super focused. You need to laser focused on what you want to achieve. Okay, you can be wrong. It's absolutely fine. Maybe after 1 year you feel that this is not what I want to do. Absolutely fine. Your interest area is in programming. Next step you should ask yourself is, programming means what programming you want to do. Is it a Java programming? It is .NET programming? It is a Python programming? Whatever it is, right? So these questions asking yourself will give you clarity and you fix a career. Now, not fixing your career, it's also important to validate that career, right? You might fix a career. You might say, I want to get into X. But if you look at the industry, maybe that particular career does not have a higher scope, right? So you need to add few other things and mix it and see what other roles around it has a bigger scope, right? So that is validation. How to validate that? Go in the market, look at Naukri.com, look at LinkedIn.com. You find a lot of jobs there. Look at whether they have enough jobs. Look at how connect with people, understand how much they pay for that particular job. Is there a career growth for that, right? Or only first 2-3 years I can be in that career, after that I cannot shine in that career. All these things you can validate. Okay, I'm just giving a larger framework. Obviously every step has deeper steps to do, but I'm giving you a larger framework so that you can work on that framework and make yourself understandable. Okay, now you have fixed your career, you have validated it. Now you know that this is what I want to get into, right? Now it's important to build your skills relevant to that. If you want to become a Java developer, become a good programmer in Java development, right? If you want to become a design engineer, learn all this AutoCAD, Pro E, etc., and develop your skill set on that, right? So any career you decide, you build your skills on that. This you need to do right before your 4th year, right? Not after completing a college, not after waiting for 2-3 years and getting a job. No, you do all these things before you complete your 4th year of your job. Sorry, college, right? So, and finally you get a job. So that is the framework I want to give you to identify your passion and career. These are the steps that you need to follow. And if you are able to follow these steps meticulously, if you put your planning into place, and if you do a lot of research to understand this, you will definitely able to identify, merge your career and passion. And till your 60th year, right, you'll be happy about doing what you're doing, right? Are we clear about this? Just type clear in the chat box if you're clear about this. Just type clear in the chat box so that I know that you're clear about this. Awesome. Great. So let's move on. So second topic which I want to talk about is students' employability kit, right? I call it as kit. Okay. Students' employability kit. Now, let's first give a quick understanding to you. What are the elements of this kit? Number one, your core skill set. So you decide that you want to become a programmer. Now in programming, what language you want. So that is the core skill, right? Or you want to become a design engineer, or you want to become a manufacturing engineer, whatever it might be, right? Or you want to become a content writer or a whatever it might be, business analyst, project manager, or you want to become a artist, whatever career you choose, there is a particular core skill for that, right? You build that skills, you learn that skills. Today there is lot of opportunities for you to learn. Internet has so many portals or resources for you to learn. Only thing is you need to source and you need to focus and navigate through the different resources that you have and start your learning, right? So don't, the problem I see with a lot of people is like they say, can I, if I learn this, will I get a job, right? The question everybody asks before enrolling themselves into a learning program, they always connect that with a job. That is fine, all fine, right? But see, only if you jump into the sea, you will be able to learn swimming, right? It's not that you can say, okay, if this swimming, this water is better, so I think I can, if I jump here, I can learn swimming. No, you have to jump anywhere in the water so that you can swim. So when there is udemy.com, there is upgrade.com, there are so many other online portals also which you can start with. Obviously, when you learn, go a little further, you'll understand, okay, this course is not so depth, I need to do something advanced than this. That is absolutely fine, but that should be a starting point. That should be a starting point. If you wait for that starting point forever, you'll be waiting forever. You'll never see, or you'll never push yourself to start, right? So always you should have a starting point. Start with anything. That's absolutely fine. The more you progress, the more you learn, and the more you advance yourself in that. Okay. So don't wait for a perfect thing to come so that I'll start. No, it never happens. There is no perfect thing in this world, right? There is no perfect thing in this world. You start yourself, you push yourself, put into something, and you learn something there, and then get out of that, move to the next level, right? That's how learning should happen, right? So don't look for a perfect course which will give everything. There is nothing about perfect course. You have anything that you put yourself into a learning, at least learn some percentage of it, and then you learn to the next level. Okay, so that is a core skill. So first thing is core skill. You need to develop your skill set. Second, ability to speak fluently. This is another important skill set. You might have a very good skill set. You are a very good programmer, but if you're not able to communicate that, if you're not able to present that, nobody knows that you have that skill. Nobody will understand that you have that skill, right? So it's important for you to learn how to speak fluently, how to speak good in English. Particularly today, most of the interviews, at least out of 100, 99% of the interviews are in English. So obviously you need to learn to speak in English, right? You have a lot of exercises you practice. I was a person who cannot speak 2 sentences in a flow, but I'm able to speak today because of practice. So if you practice, you'll also be able to do if you are not able to speak now. Third is about soft skills. What is soft skill? Soft skill is your behavioral and your attitude. All this comes into soft skill, right? Your presentation skill and your communication skill. All these skills comes into soft skill. So develop that as well, right? That is also important, as these all enhance your chances of getting a job, right? Then aptitude skills. So any fresher job, you go in the market and look for a job. Everybody, first step they give you is an aptitude test for you, right? Which includes the coding and all that stuff, but aptitude is also that part of that. Reasoning, English, all that is that. So if you do not do that, if you do not learn it, what will happen? You might be an expert in Java programming, or you might be expert in a core skill, but you are not able to crack the first step, unfortunately, because you didn't prepare for your aptitude. So prepare for your aptitude so that you can crack the first step. That's the first step. I'm going to show you the interview process, right? So that is the first step. You need to be prepared for that. So you need to prepare your aptitude skills. Next, last 2 things are important, okay? One is the internship. Look always for opportunities for internship, whether it's a free internship or paid internship, doesn't matter. You are going to learn a lot of things out of internship, right? So always try to identify some internship for your in your field and expose yourself into the corporate world. Learn out of it, right? This internship on your resume gives lot of value, right? Internship is the highest value of beyond your education, beyond your knowledge, everything. Your internship, if you put two or three internships on your resume, that gives a lot of weightage for your resume. Okay. And second is about your learning. Third is about your education, right? Fourth is about your format, all that stuff. Format doesn't even matter, but your internships is most important. So always see if you can get internship in your relevant career, right? So that is most important. Now, finally, your past achievements. What you achieved in your career, right? You have led something. You were doing a lot of activities in a college, whatever it is, whatever achievements you have done, put it across, right? So this is called the employability skill. If you have each one of this element in yourself, if you develop that, you'll be definitely able to crack any interview for that matter. Okay, any interview. Only the expertise level in the in different companies differ. Right? For an example, if you go for an interview in Google, right, your expertise level will be which will be requested or which will be looked at will be very higher. So if your expertise skill in all these elements are top, then you will be easily able to crack Google interview also. Right? So any company for that matter, these are the things that they look in a student. And if you have this skill set, you'll be definitely able to crack it. And it's important that you have at least some level of expertise in each one of that, right? Otherwise, it's difficult. If you have core skill and you do not have the ability to speak, or you do not have the ability to crack the aptitude test, then you'll not be able to advance in the interview process. So this is very important. You make sure that you develop in each one of these areas and put your focus learning into this. Are we clear about this, guys? Awesome. Great. So let's move on to the next steps. Okay, cool. Okay, so what has changed in interview? Before, if you look at before 3 years, 5 years timeline, in fact, 5 years before, right? Most of the companies were asking for an aptitude test. And then once you clear the aptitude test, you go for a group discussion, and then you go for the technical skill set and functional interview and things. But before 5 years, people were, at least in IT industry, people are not focusing on your programming or your core skill set. People are looking at, are you able to solve aptitude? Are you able to speak little? All that is fine. Then you are shortlisted. Today's scenario has changed completely. I'm telling you completely, right? So aptitude is there, though screening is there, all that is there. But the important component every company is coming up with your core skill set. Until you are an expert or you're good in terms of whatever your core skill set is, you will not be able to crack interviews in most of the companies at least, right? So aptitude test has become your technical or coding test. Okay. Earlier it was only aptitude. Today companies are including coding with aptitude or only technical tests they are doing. So if you're good in terms of coding, programming, etc., if you want to software job, then you'll be able to crack it. Or even if you want to go for an electrical related job or a mechanical related job, still people are looking for that core particular skill set. Only if you have that, then you'll be able to crack it. So it's important, as I said in the previous slide, it is important for you to learn the core skill set. Then people are, as I said, people are looking for experience. A lot of freshers complain. How come companies are looking for experience in freshers? When they say experience, it's not about getting employment or something like that. It's about internship. It's about your projects, right? What unique projects you have done, what internships you have done. So always put yourself, try to get opportunities, internship opportunities. There is a site called Internshala, right? Internshala.com. Obviously, you can use that site for your learning purposes also, right? So you can get internship opportunities there. You can connect with people across the industry and find a good internship. So this is what it changed, right? Earlier it was only aptitude test. Earlier it was only basic knowledge people are looking at. Today companies are looking at technical or coding expertise. And then instead of basic knowledge, they're looking for somebody who has an exposure into the corporate already, right? So because see why all this are happening is earlier people are hired and trained for 6 months and then put into a project. Okay. Now companies are not ready to do 6 months training because after doing 6 months training, 1 year, you leave the job and you go for the next company. So all the investment that they're putting on yourself is going for a waste, right? So that's the reason companies are not actually focusing on training for freshers particularly, but instead they're looking in the market and trying to see if we can hire somebody who is already trained or already have that exposure, right? So that is why I'm again and again saying getting internships, experience, projects, exposure is the crucial thing for you to crack interviews. It's easiest way that you get an opportunity to get interact with the people in the company for interviews. Okay, so that has changed. So focus on this so that you'll be able to crack interviews for yourself. Okay, so what's the usual hiring process? So again, this is the hiring process. You go for any company for that matter. Maybe one or two things might not be there, but the usual hiring process is this, right? So aptitude test or a technical test, and then a group discussion or a jam session. Jam session is just a minute, right? And functional interview, then technical interview in HR interview. Okay, this is the process flow. Now, please understand all this is very important. Please understand this, right? All the steps until functional interview, before that, aptitude test or group discussion or jam session, all these steps are not to select people, but to reject people. Okay? What I mean by that is, companies are not having aptitude test, technical test to or group discussion or jam session to select people. They're not looking for selections. Instead, they're looking for rejections. How to eliminate people out of the process, right? So what does it mean is, like 500 people apply for my job opportunity, let's say, okay? Today you go out, maybe in campus interviews, you might have lesser people because you are competing with your people inside your college. But when you come out of the college, you go out of the campus, you are competing with the whole world, right? You're competing with the whole world, people from Bangalore, people from Chennai, people from Delhi. You're competing with everybody out in the market, right? Now, when you're competing with that, the challenge is the supply of talent is huge. Instead of 100 people attending in your campus, you'll see 1,000 people coming for an interview or 1,000 people applying for a job, right? You go for any walk-in interview today. Maybe today, due to COVID, we are not having walk-in interviews. But if you go to any walk-in interview, you'll at least have 500 plus students or freshers coming for a job, for one job or two job or three job. So now see the competition there, right? So only if you are able to crack through all the steps, then you will be able to go to the last step, which is called HR round. And in HR round, a lot of people do get rejected as well, unfortunately. Okay. So coming to the point, these first two steps is actually a rejection process, not a selection process, right? So I want somebody, so for an example, let me tell you, there are 1,000 applications for my job posting. Now I cannot interview all 1,000 people, which is I have to interview for next 6 months to close all the interviews, right? If I have to interview all 1,000 people, then I will take at least 6 months for me to interview all the 1,000 people, one-on-one interviews, and then finally select somebody. By the time I come to the last person, I forgot who I met in the, right? So I am not very clear about the interview. So it's practically not possible. So what they do, they first have a criteria saying that, okay, anybody who has taken 70% and above can apply for this job. That is a rejection process. It's not a selection, right? They're rejecting people below 70%. And only people who are above 70% can come into the process. So that is the first step of rejection. Second step of rejection, your aptitude and technical test. So it's an online test or an offline test, whatever it is. Out anybody scores less than 45, for an example, right? And just give me an example. Anybody scores less than 45 out of 80, then they are rejected, right? So all the people who are coming less than 40, 45, they are rejected. Only people who are passed. They're not looking at the best, right? They're not saying that people has gained the top score, only will come. No, they're saying anybody lesser than 45 is out. So your technical aptitude test is again a rejection. Now, in coming to the group discussion or the jam session, every group discussion may have 10 people, for an example, right? Out of 10, they want to select one or two. Okay, out of 10, they want to select one or two. Now, they will look at who is that one or two I need to select, and who are these people who are not speaking, who are not able to communicate. All are reject, right? Again, that is a rejection process. So only when you come for a functional interview, they are focusing on you, because it's a one-on-one discussion and trying to understand your skill set, your experience, your knowledge, all that stuff, and then decide whether you fit for the job or not. Okay. So if you can escape from rejection from the first round or second round, like the aptitude, technical, group discussion, jam session, then you can easily go to the functional interview. So only thing you need to focus is you should not get stuck in rejection, meaning that you should get the pass marks there, right? At least the pass marks there. And when you come to the functional interview, you should do your best so that you be in the top, not in the second, third, fourth. If you're in the third, fourth, fifth, you might will not get the offer, right? So it is important. This mindset you need to have, this understanding you should have. Otherwise, you'll be thinking like aptitude, I need to attend all the 100, I need to get 100. No, nobody's looking at 100. Everybody's looking at section-wise pass marks. In analytical reasoning, how many out of 10 questions, if they have done 8 questions, they are good. I mean, clear 8 questions, they are good. In English, out of 10 questions, they have done 7 questions, they are good, pass, right? It's not about getting 10, it's about passing that mark. But obviously, you will not know what is the passing mark. But ideally, if you can attempt and if you can clear 70% of section wise, then you will be easily able to pass it. Okay, 70%. Like meaning out of 10 questions, if you're able to correctly answer 7 questions, you have higher chances of getting clear. Okay, so aptitude test, group discussion, jam session, or rejection process. If you escape from a rejection from that, then you come to the functional interview and technical interview, where you need to focus about your technical expertise. Focus on your technical expertise and be the best there. And then come to the HR round. HR round is very easy, but unfortunately, people do not prepare for it. I'll just give a quick instance for you. When I was interviewing a particular person, and that is for a technical support job, we were asking that candidate, why you want to get this into the job? It's a very simple question, right? And that person said, maybe I'll do this job for 1 year and I'll leave for doing my MTech. Now, will I hire her? No, I will not hire, because I know very clearly she or he is going to stay only for 1 year with me. So these kind of loophole questions you should not answer. So you should be just prepared about these basic normal questions, as there are so many resources in the world that you can learn from, right? So are we here clear about this till now? Awesome. So let's go on. We have limited time as well. Yes. So, okay, what you can do about this, how to prepare yourself, how to, become expert, how to learn all these things. So enroll for courses. There are a lot of courses available, right? Put some investment on that. Investing on yourself will not go for waste. You are doing a lot of spending in a lot of things, right? When you go out for a movie, there is not a lot of money going on that. So if you focus at least a 10-20% of money, investing in yourself, investing in the courses that you can learn, then it will obviously help you, right? At least you have some knowledge better than what others have, right? You are little ahead than other people. How much you learn, how much depth you learn, that matters on you, right? But when you enroll yourself, you are putting yourself in an environment, into a learning environment where you need to focus and learn, right? So enroll for courses, practice the previous questions. There are so many sites that gives a lot of questionnaires from the previous interviews. So you can prepare that. Learn from outside campus. You are learning from inside your campus. That's absolutely fine. That is good. That is everybody is doing. But what you can learn from outside, go to the hackathons. There are a lot of events, right, happening in the market. Go for it. Learn from that, right? And expose yourself into internships. Again, I'm focusing on internship. Expose outside curriculum. You have a particular curriculum, don't just stop there. Expose outside that. What else I can learn out of that, right? You focus. If you invest yourself all these 4 years into learning, then you will come out very easily and crack interviews so easily. It's just a cakewalk for you if you do that. Okay. So this is what you can do if you want to really crack interviews here. Okay. Now this is another interesting topic: how to connect with people. How many of you have LinkedIn accounts here? Just type me in the chat box if you have a LinkedIn account for yourself. If you do not have, say no. Absolutely fine. If you do not have, you can say no. I see a lot of people saying me. That's awesome. If you do not have, go create that LinkedIn account today. You have Instagram account, you have Facebook account, you have all that. That is all entertainment, right? LinkedIn is not entertainment. LinkedIn is a platform, is a gold mine for any of them, any professionals today. If you really want to get into corporate, if you really want to get into a job of corporate, then focus into LinkedIn, build network there. You can target people, you can target companies, you can in fact connect with somebody who is a CEO of certain company. CEO of Google, you can be seen in LinkedIn. He'll be writing content, right? So you will be able to, you can connect with any CEO of any startup company. So there is a lot of content out there in LinkedIn. There is a lot of opportunity for you to identify and connect with people. Okay. So I'll connect you back again on the first slide, which I said, identifying your right opportunity, identifying your career, right? Now, once we are clear about that, once you know that I want to get into this particular field, then you know who are the people who can help you with that. So let's say you want to get into a design field, right? Maybe mechanical design, let's say. You want to get into mechanical design. Now you know people who are already into mechanical design, who are managing that, or who are the MD of that mechanical design companies, are your target audience for job search, right? Now you will be easily able to connect them in LinkedIn. So identification is easy. Once you know what you want to do, your identification process is very, very simple. You just need to see who is in the industry, who is already doing that. And you connect with them in LinkedIn, right? And build relationship. This is the most important thing. Connecting with them today and tomorrow sending them, sir, do you have a job opportunity? Will not help you. Will not help you, right? So there is a process of engagement. You will learn that step by step. I do not want to dump you with a lot of information right away, because that is a long process. Again, building relationship in LinkedIn itself a long, big topic, right? So which even professionals do not know today. So if you learn to understand how to build relationship in LinkedIn, you will be easily able to connect with people, understand what are the opportunities. And I have personally given a lot of opportunities to freshers who has connected with me in LinkedIn. They have asked, sir, do you have opportunity in web development? And whenever I got an opportunity in web development, the first thing I look at that is their profile, right? So it's easy. There are a lot of people who has got opportunities through me itself in that mode itself, right? So it's important for you to understand this and connect with people in the industry. So you are having a huge opportunity to connect with people in the industry right on day one. In fact, on minus day zero itself, right? You can right now you can connect with a lot of professionals in the industry. Some people respond, some people do not respond, but at least you are into the system. You are into the system of learning. You are into the system of the people who are connected there. You know what their world is. You know what they are doing. You know what they are speaking. You know where the opportunity is. You know who are the people. At least you know that. So please come to LinkedIn, connect with the target audience that you have. Ideally, if you want to become a programmer, then look at people in the software industry. If you want to do something in management, look at people who are into marketing or sales, whatever it is, whichever field that you want to get into, focus on that and connect with people in that particular industry and engage with them. Try to ask advisors, try to ask their perspective, right? What I can learn, what I should do to get this. I want to become a mechanical design engineer. So what are the things I need to learn? Ask people in the industry. People will help you in that, right? Instead of asking one person, ask 10 people. 10 people will answer. Instead of 10 people, 5 people will answer you, right? So you'll get an idea, you'll get a perspective right from the corporate, right from the people who are already there in the organizations. So this is just awesome that you can do all this today by sitting at your home, by sitting in your laptop, and you can do that. Are we clear about this? How to connect with the employers? And you can follow the pages of the companies, so you know about what the company is doing. So whichever field that you are choosing, think about top 10 companies in that particular field. right? So these are learning. See, your learning is not just about learning your college curriculum, right? Go beyond it. Focus on what you can learn from the industry. The more you focus outside your campus, the more opportunities you have. Campus is absolutely fine. It's important. I'm not denying that, right? It is important. That is a basic. That is a foundation. But don't stop there. Go beyond your campus. Go outside your campus. Learn from the market. Today, it's not difficult. When I was a fresher, we didn't have LinkedIn, right? We cannot connect with people like that. I used to go to every company in Chennai, knocking their doors, asking for job, right? Today, that is not. It is made very simple. You can sit in your home, connect with people, engage with the right mindset, and connect with them, ask a job, and tell them who you are, what you have done in your field, right? That is outbounding. Even there are people in LinkedIn who are freshers, who are students in college. They talk about their projects, how they build that particular project, and that gets viral, and people connect with them, offer employment. So all these are happening in LinkedIn. Unless we are into the system, we do not know that. We do not know what is happening there, and we are losing a huge opportunity. Huge opportunity. Okay. So please come to LinkedIn, connect with people, and learn from them. Hope you are clear about this. Before I go further, just type clear on the chat box if you're clear about this. And if you're learning, please say yes, you are learning. Great, awesome. So that's a Sunday morning. We're learning a lot. Great. Let's move on. So how to identify, target, as I said, target the companies, which are the top 10 companies or top 50 companies or top 20 companies, whatever it is, right? In your industry that you want to work in. So target those companies. And LinkedIn has a search bar. You can go put the company name and look at the people who are working in the company. Connect with all the people there, senior leaders, not entry level people. Connect with managers, head, directors, all that, right? So you are able to connect with all the people there right away. So target the companies and then check whom to connect. That is what your target people are. Who are my hiring managers? Who will hire me? Ideally, managers will hire, right? So managers in design will hire. Managers in production will hire for a production engineer. Okay. Managers in software development, engineering managers will hire for developers, right? Recruiters, you can connect with recruiters, right? So all these people, these are your target audience. Connect with them. Target companies, then whom to connect in that particular company. So connect with them and then build relationship. Write about yourself, about your project, about your learning. Today you are attended this session. Write about this particular session in your LinkedIn. Say that I attended this. These are my learning. People are getting to know that you are getting exposed to the corporate. You are getting exposed to, you're learning a lot of things, right? People are getting to know about you, right? So all these things you can put in your LinkedIn and focus on your learning. All right. So this is how you can build connections. See, there are people who write a huge page content on LinkedIn message. This is not the right way to do it. This is not the right way to do it. Please note, this is not the right way. You have to, your message should be short, concise, and you should just 3 or 4 lines, maximum 4 lines, 2 or 3 lines is good. Connect with them, build engagement. Just putting all these things and putting the chat box doesn't help. Okay, how to build relationship? Mentorship. Ask people to mentor you. People happy. There are a lot of people who are happy to help, right? Sir, can you give me some guidance on this? People will help you. So mentorship is one way of getting into connecting with people. Internship, as I said, LinkedIn is a huge platform that you can find internship. People post, I am looking for a 6 months internship. I'm looking for a freelance developer, etc., etc. There is huge opportunities there. Okay. And then freelancing. If you can do freelancing projects, do it. Go ahead and do it. Learn from that, right? So these are the ways you can build relationship with companies or people in the corporate. Okay. Finally, I'm coming to the topic, which is how to crack interviews, right? With this, we will finish off and open the session for questions. All right. So interviewing, secret. I'm saying this is secret. A lot of people do not know. And if you know this framework, I'm telling you today, you'll be able to crack any interview for that matter, right? I'm saying interviews. Till now, we saw how to get interviews, how to sit in front of the interviewer and give the interview. What is the process to follow for that? Till now, we were speaking about it. Now I'm going to speak. Once you come and sit in front of the interviewer, how to crack it, how to make that as the best for you. Okay. If you can practice this formula, right, you'll be able to crack any interview. Any interview. Believe me, you can crack any interview. And your interviews are in this format. Okay. So let me explain you what is this format. This format is situation, task, action, results. Your answer should always follow this format. I'm not talking about technical interviews. Tell me what is JDK, then Java, then Java Development Kit, what all comes into that. That is technical interviews. So I'm not talking about that. Or design related, all core technical questions, I'm not talking about that. When you go for a HR interview, when you go for a managerial interview, then you will be asked, tell me about a situation, how you might say that my strength is leadership skill. Then they would ask, tell me about a situation where you are leading a team, right? Then that's when you have to use this framework. So any behavioral related questions, any generic questions that is asked to you, you can use this framework and answer the question. So this cannot be used in technical interviews, obviously. Technical or functional interviews, you cannot use it because that is focused on your subject knowledge, right? So these are focused on your behavioral skill set, right? There are a lot, any job role needs specific behavioral skill set to perform better in the job. So companies will check for your behavioral skill set also. Where do they check? They check in your manager round, HR round, right? Why do you want this job? You have to connect in this framework, right? So let me explain you this situation, task, action, and result. So every one of you must know that about a story, right? The wolf is coming. How many of you know about the story? Wolf is coming. You have learned in your second standard or third standard, maybe. I do not know. Wolf is coming. How many of you know? Just type me in the chat box if you know wolf is coming story. Me. Okay, awesome. So most of you know. So in the wolf is coming story, if somebody asks you, tell me about the story, right? What will you say? You'll say, once upon a time, there was a wolf living in this forest, and there was a village around it. This is how you start, right? So any question asked to you, you should start in a similar way, which is you should tell about the situation first. Then you should say, what did you do? What is your action to that situation? And what is the result, right? So what is the situation first? And then what did you do? And what is your result out of that? So tell me about a situation that you are leading a team. I'm just giving you one quick example. Tell me about a situation where you're leading a team. So first you should tell about a particular situation. What is the situation? Okay, we had a event that we were organizing, and the event is about maybe let's take Vazhikatti itself. We had arranged this, so I was leading that particular thing, and this is the situation. Then what are the actions that you did? I identified the sponsors, I identified the speaker, I identified this. How did I identify the speaker? How did I identify the sponsor? That is action. What is the result? So we had this many people, 180 people attending the event, and this was a huge success, right? So I'm just give you a quick example how you can use this particular framework and answer any question for yourself. If you do in this particular framework, nobody will say reject to you. And if you use it meticulously, it comes in practice. You have to use this framework in multiple scenarios, multiple places, even when you are into a Viva, whatever it is, right? You can use this situation anywhere. You can use this framework, and you'll be able to answer. This is called storytelling, right? You are not giving a direct answer. Tell me a situation where you're leading a team. Okay, I was leading a team in my college, and I was doing this, etc. But instead of that, you are saying, what is the situation? What was your actions? What was your results? So if you can use this framework, you'll be able to easily crack interviews. Are we clear about this secret? Are we clear? Just type clear in the chat box if you're clear about this. And I'm 200% I can assure you that any interview you go for, the first question will be, tell me about yourself, take me through your profile, help me understand about you. This will be a first question, default, right? And 99% of people fail in this question. 99%. I'm not saying that 50% or 40%. 99% of people fail in this question because they do not understand the seriousness of this particular question. Okay, they do not understand the seriousness of this particular question. So you should really practice really well to answer this particular question. What are the things that you need to answer? In Tell Me About Yourself, go refer to a lot of sites which are helping to answer. You can refer to my YouTube channel also. There is a lot of videos about it, right? So you have to have a framework in answering Tell Me About Yourself. This is like selling a product, selling your skill set. And this one question, this one answer that you're giving will determine whether you are in the process or not the process. Simple. Within 5 minutes of your interview, they are going to judge whether they like you or not. Okay, just within 5 minutes. Whatever questions that is asked beyond that is just to ensure their decision is right. Within 5 minutes, they are going to say this person is a reject or this person is a select. After that, whatever questions they are asking is to ensure whatever they thought in their mind, whether reject or select, is correct or wrong, to verify that. So this 5 minutes is very, very crucial. You have to make sure that you prepare these questions, practice these questions, answers again and again, then only you can perform better. Okay, strength and weakness. And a lot of people talk about strength and weakness, something irrelevant, all that things. So go prepare it. So the secret is to answer any question is you should always try and understand what is the intention of the question. Don't try to answer for the question that is asked. So let me give you a quick example for that. Somebody is asking you how comfortable you are working in shifts, night shift. Okay, then you might say, yeah, I would be preferred to work in morning shift, but I'm okay to work in night shift also. This is your answer. Now, if you answer this, you are absolutely saying you are okay to work in night shift. Okay, but you will be a reject. Why? Because you said you prefer to work in morning shift and you're okay to work in night shift. Why? Because the intention of the question is to understand how flexible you are to work in night shift. Because that job demands night shift, they want you to ensure that this person is okay to work in night shift. So if you answer for the question, your answer is absolutely right. But if you think about the intention, you're obviously their intention and your answer is not matching, hence you'll be a reject. So always think what is the intention behind this question. This is a little difficult to get. It might take time for you to become an expert in understanding the intentions of the question. It might take a while, absolutely fine. But I just want to put this thought in your mind so that whenever you go for interviews, you think through that, right? What was the intention for this particular question? And how can I answer for that particular intention instead of the question? So that's all from my side. Now we'll open for questions. Please ask as many questions possible. This is absolute chance for you. If you think I can give a valuable answer, please do ask questions. You can put on the chat box, and if there is a possibility to unmute and ask, absolutely fine. I'm open with both things. Thank you so much. Okay, Saravana Kumar has asked, give some idea on the government job related interview. Okay, so government jobs, it depends on which government job you are preferring, right? So there is obviously, if you're an engineer and if you want to get into engineering related jobs, there is something called IES, Indian Engineering Services, right? And obviously it is equivalent to IAS, Indian Administrative Service, similar to that in engineering field. So if you want to target that, go prepare it, understand what it is, what's the process. So every government job has a different process. So whatever government job you're preparing, you need to understand that particular process and go for it. So some body language tips for interview. Okay. That's an interesting question. Okay. So what is body language? Let's understand that first, right? See, in a body language, if I say, keep your hands like this, keep your face like this, all these are fine. These are operational things. But more to that is, the importance is your confidence. Okay. If you are confident, automatically your body language will be perfect. If you are confident, automatically, before even you are thinking, your body language will be perfect. Okay. If you are confident about, if you're not nervous, if you're confident about it, automatically, anybody you see, if they're confident, they're absolutely, their body language is perfect. right? There is no thing like you should be like this or you should be like that. If only thing is you need to focus on being confident. How to be confident? That's the next question, right? How I can be confident? If I am prepared, I'll be confident. If I know things, I'll be confident. So only thing to make sure your body language is right, you should be prepared. If you prepare well, if you practice well, you will be automatically become confident. Your confidence will boost your body language also. So couple of tips on that. When you shake their hands, obviously these are very, very gentle things. Be confident means that be firm, right? Look into their eyes. Don't look somewhere else and talk. These are body language things. Use your hands. Or if you're not little nervous, if you're not very confident, then use your hands like this. Keep it down, right? Now, if you are putting your hands tight, then your hands will not do, something else instead of not showcase different body language. If you're not confident, then you can use it. If you're confident like that, you can use obviously open body language, right? So my advice here is prepare well, practice well. That will obviously automatically boost your body language also. So what is passion in your terms? Okay, that's another interesting question. Passion is anything that you are happy to do. That is your passion. Simple, right? If you are, see, I'm able to take a session on Sunday, right, morning, right? Why? Because I'm passionate about doing this. It's not that I have knowledge. No, I might have knowledge, but if I'm not passionate, I cannot sit on a Sunday 10 a.m. morning and take a class like this, right? I'm just, this is out of my interest. I'm giving this knowledge out, right? Am I right? Right? So that is because of my passion. So whatever you feel at any point of time you want to work on, and without any restrictions, without any resistance, then that is your passion. That is your passion. Okay. So there are so many questions coming in. So let me go through some of that. Government-related jobs. Okay. How to overcome language barrier if you're able to convey one thing in English, but okay, good. So you can obviously in interviews you cannot use Tamil, right? As shown in movies, right? You have to speak in English. So let me give a quick tip for anybody who wants to improve their communication skill. That's how I improved my communication skill, which is called as LRS method. Okay. What is LRS method? L is for listen, R is for read, and S is for speak. So listening the news channels, okay? While you listen to news channels, English news channels, NDTV or whatever news channels you prefer, but don't listen to the debates. Debates is nonsense, right? Listen to the news, actual news. Listen to that. And start listening every day at least 30 minutes. That will help you a lot, okay? Number one. Number two, you can also watch conversation-based movies, not action-based movies, conversation-based movies. That is also possible. Second, that is L. Second is read. Read Hindu newspaper. I'm specifically telling Hindu newspaper. There is a reason behind it, not other newspapers. Hindu newspaper every day. Every day. Learn new words from that. And read novels. English novels. Okay? That is second thing about reading. Third is speaking. With whom you can speak? With anybody. Speak completely nonsense, completely fine, but speak in English. If you practice, do all these steps every day for 30 minutes, that is total 1.5 hours, right? Within 1 month, your English will improve drastically. At least I improved my English like that, okay? So I'm very confident on this method, LRS method. You should do all these steps every day for at least 30 minutes, minimum. Clear? Okay, next question is, can you doing different interns or pursuing in months on the same intern like that? You can do obviously at least any internship will be minimum of 2 months, 2 months to 6 months. So duration doesn't matter, right? If you have done 6-month internship, again try and see next 6 months what internship you can do. Okay, it's absolutely fine. As many internship you can do, that's absolutely fine. In interviews for IT companies, is there any specific language to learn which will help me, or a specific site to learn? Because there are so many programming language. like C++ or Java? Okay, very good question. See, you can learn any language. It's not about learning a particular language, C++ or Java or Python, what to learn, doesn't matter. Any language is fine, but be an expert in that particular language. Take one language, focus on that and learn that. That's it. Practice that. You have a lot of chances today to practice. And anybody who wants to get into IT product companies, a quick tip there. Practice more on your data structure expertise. Any IT product company you go for, if you want to crack interviews in Google, right? They're not going to ask which language you have expertise. They're going to ask you questions on data structures. They're going to ask you, give you problems in data structures to solve, right? They'll ask you solution in algorithms, not in programming language. Programming language is a tool, right? Whereas the concept is data structures. So if you really want to get into IT product companies like Microsoft, Google, any product company for that matter, you should really focus on learning data structures. Today, we have sites like Geek for Geeks. There is a site called Geek for Geeks. HackerEarth, HackerRank. These are the websites where you can go and solve a lot of programming related challenges. Okay. The more you solve, there is something called lead code. You can practice in lead code about your programming skills. The more you practice, the more you expert become. You become expert, right? So another important thing here, I forgot to miss that. Please listen carefully. Anybody who wants to get into IT, there are sites like CodeCubes, HackerRank, HackerEarth kind of website. So go and register yourself there, right? There are assessments which come in there. Go and attend those assessments. AMCAT, CodeCubes also conduct an assessment. AMCAT is there. There are so many assessments like that, like AMCAT. Go do all the assessments. Companies hire from there. If you do well there, companies hire from there. Okay, so go focus on that. Prepare well so that we can easily get into product companies. The reason is product company your starting salary would be 8 lakhs, 10 lakhs, whereas service companies will be 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs. Even if you look at from a money standpoint, but the expertise they look will be top standard, right? So it's not about which programming language you're learning, whatever you prefer, you can learn that, absolutely fine. But focus on that particular one language. Don't learn, I learn C++, I learn Java, I learn Python. Don't do that. Learn one thing, but be strong in that. Okay. How to answer situational questions like your higher officer asked you to do more work. How will you react? These are not situational questions actually. These are hypothetical questions. Okay. So higher officer or your manager asks you to do more work. Obviously, you will do it if because if obviously they will not give you work something irrelevant to the job, right? They will give you work relevant to the job, and you will, if that is required for the company and if it is important, obviously you will take and do it, right? So situational questions means any question which is past oriented. How did you manage it? How did you do in this particular situation, right? That are situational questions. Future oriented or hypothetical questions. What will you do is hypothetical. What did you do is a situational question. For situational questions, as I gave you the STAR framework, situation, task, action, result, please use that framework. Absolutely, you'll be able to crack it. How to know the right things to learn? How do we shape your knowledge, as there are a lot of sources and mostly get confused? Absolutely, this is a important question again. So how to know the right things? See, right things is for you. It's not from outside whether what is right, what is not right, right? You should think whether this is good for me or not. If it is good for you, then go ahead and learn. That's it, simple. That means, as I said, you need to focus on what career you want to get into. And if you're clear about that, automatically you will attract things learn to that. And you will learn things relevant to that, right? So that's the reason I said the first step is make yourself aware about yourself and focus on what is the role or what is the career that you want to choose, and then go from there. That is your first step. If you can make that as your first step, obviously automatically the other things will follow. I don't know whether I'm answering. If I'm answering your question, please say yes, this is answered. If you think that you still need more explanation, please let me know in your comments. Is it possible to unmute? I don't know.
Sir, obviously, your answers are picture perfect, sir.
Thank you. What are the extra things you need to learn to check crack IT companies? Okay, the extra things is obviously your aptitude, right? Because that's most of the companies do in the first step, and your communication skills, and then that's it. If these things are good and your coding programming language, you will be able to easily crack IT companies interviews. There's nothing else apart from this. Other internship will our workshops, webinar certificates add value. See, webinar, all this depends on workshops, webinars, depends on, how many days and what is the learning out of it. Certification has no value. Let me be very clear. Any certification you go and do has zero value. The learning that you got from that particular certification has the value, not the certification, right? So if you have a certificate, don't think that, assume that people will give jobs based on you have so many certifications. No, nobody looks at certification. Certification will help you to represent that you will learn that particular thing in your career, in your resume, sorry. That helps you to put or showcase that you have learned. That's it. That's the job of certification. What you have in your brain, that is what matters. So any certification you do, any course you do, right? Focus on your learning. If you have a lot of learning, and obviously putting on your resume is definitely helpful so that they know that you have done it, right? That is first step. But beyond that, only certification is not going to help you. The knowledge that you gain out of that certification is going to help you. Okay. Okay, how to answer salary related question? Very interesting question again. So in salary, don't give any specific number saying that I'm looking for 4 lakhs, looking at 3 lakhs, looking at 10 lakhs. Don't give any specific number. Always till you crack the last step of the interview. Okay. If you're focused on getting the job, unless until you already have an offer, you already are settled, you are just looking for other opportunities now. If that is not the situation, till the last step, that is people collecting your documents, and then they are themselves coming and asking you what is the expectation. At that point, till then, you should always answer as per the industry standards. Okay, I'll tell you why. There is a reason behind it. Every job has a specific range. Okay, every job has a specific range. And if you answer something lesser than that particular range, then that is a disadvantage for you. If you answer more than that particular range, then that person will not consider you because your expectation is more than their range, right? So either the case, it can backfire you. Okay, so it's always better to say, I'm okay as per the industry standard. I'm a fresher. I'm looking to get into a career, so I'm absolutely fine as per the industry standards. When it comes to the last stage, you can try and understand what is their offering, right? And look at the industry. There are a lot of tools like today, pay scale. There are so many tools to identify what is the salary in this particular company, right? A range, you will get an idea. With that, you will be able to easily understand, okay, this is the right range that you're talking about. So it's absolutely fine. Then you can go ahead. If you feel that is a lesser, then you can try and ask, is there a possibility to increase this thing, right? So that should be a strategy. Don't immediately the recruiter call, then you don't say that I'm looking for 6 lakhs. Can you give me or not? So that attitude itself is a problem for companies, because you are not focusing on the role, you're not focusing on the job, you're focusing only on the money. But at an entry level position, that is not the attitude any company will expect. Okay, so your salary, keep it open, discuss towards the end after you crack all the interviews. Okay. Okay, if you do not know the answer, how to manage? You can, if you are completely blank, they're asking you a particular technical question, you do not have any answer, let them know you do not know the answer. Absolutely fine. It's not about answering all the questions in the interview. It's if you can do 70% of the interview better, you will be able to pass through. They're not looking for 100% of answer. No. And instead of blabbering, instead of saying something else, right, irrelevant, if you say no, I do not know this answer, it's absolutely fine as well. Okay. But another tip on that, if you say I do not know. Also, you can end it in a positive tone, saying that for an Angular, one is called React. So for an example, let's say you have some knowledge in Angular, but you do not have a knowledge in React. Now the question is about React. Then you can say, sorry, I do not have a knowledge about React. I have an expertise on Angular, right? I know Angular about this, on this. So then they will focus their questions towards Angular. Now you are driving the interview on based on your knowledge, not based on what they want. So that will help you to crack interviews also. Okay. I hope that helped you, Preeti Vasman. So can you say any sites like now you said civil engineering related practicing some technical concepts? I'm not really sure, to be frank, Saravana, for civil engineering. But if you in civil engineering, I have seen there are two things majorly. One is obviously your design related roles, and second is your site related roles. Site related roles are really challenging, or you can obviously get into research related field also. So these are the three key fields that you can focus in civil engineering. So if you want to get into design, then obviously you have to learn design related courses. And if you want to get into research, try to do research about what are the institutes which are offering that kind of thing, and you can go for that. Should we consider startup or well-known companies? Doesn't matter whether it's a startup or a well-known company. What matters is what is your job role, what is your Sorry, is there any question? Or okay, so to join PSU company, we have to learn about programming language. Depends on the company and depends on the role. I don't know what's the name, but it depends on the company and depends on the role. But usually PSU companies are not more focused on programming, right? How to maintain consistency in learning? Actually, we are starting it and continuing for 2 weeks. Did you follow any particular way to focus in your career? Okay, this is another challenge. Obviously, a lot of us face. Even today, sometimes I face as well. See, learning, obviously, you have to be consistent. You should focus on completing it. If you think about the result always, what is the purpose you enroll for it, right? Then, so it's important that you get into a paid course, number one. So you have invested some money. So you have that commitment towards that, number one. Number two, focus on your output, not focus on learning. Learning is a process. Output is more important. So if you think that my output is going to be better after I learn this, right? Then again, your interest will come into that. So put a specific time in a week, right? And put on only on that learning process. Otherwise, it's all about interest and mindset. Okay. I think that's all the question I have. Any question did I miss? If I missed it, please let me know. I'm happy to answer that as well.
Thank you, sir, for answering all the questions very clearly.